We have a swirling sugar baby, aka a woman that wanted to live a soft life. She has lost her life and met the Undertaker. And she's an influencer. And I think Tony Gaskins probably wished upon her for living a degenerate lifestyle. So Tony Gaskins 1-0 right now. And hoping I would make 2-0. Swirling sugar baby who wants to live the soft life and doing monetized dating loses her life on her birthday of all days on vacation with her sugar daddy.
Okay, daddy.
And people are gonna like, that's not a sugar daddy. They were in love. All right, let's go ahead and show you. Her name is Ashlee Jenae. Anytime you see this Jenae or any of this Angele, kind of might be a middle name, but it's a made up name. Apparently, according to the New World Order here, they said the sudden death of the influencer Ashlee Jenae in Tanzania. She done went back to her homeland. And boy, is she thick, but I think she's got a BBL there. But anyway, it's ruled an alleged self-deletion. All right, self-deletion, took her own life by her fiancé, Joe McCann, and is being fiercely disputed by her friends and PR executive, Savannah Britt, who accused him of foul play. All right, get him daddy season is here.
Get him daddy.
Look at what that money make these girls do. It says, as social media users point to McCann's suspicious online behavior, including scrubbing her accounts, we're going to see if that's true, and posting normally after her, the investigation remains ongoing with no charges filed. While local authorities and McCann's allegedly suggest she by self-deletion, friends and family are vehemently disputing this claim. They are publicly assuming or accusing McCann of foul play, specifically alleging that he may have faked her self-deletion to cover up for her deletion. And now the internet is watching very closely. Yes, it is. They watching. They listen.
This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
All right, so we got them right here. This is some videos here. We're going to take a look at her Instagram account here. There she is, man. Look at that. And there he is, down on bended knee. And boy, she is tightly packed. There definitely is an age gap there. And we do have interracial dating going on here. So people do have an issue with that. She is nice and chocolatey too, boy. Or she was. All right, and he putting hands up on some hit. Oh, my goodness. All right, Jesus.
Oh, the humanity.
Sheesh. Sheesh. People say I don't like black women, but boy, that's a lie. All right. That is a lie. All right, because I definitely will be trying to fold her ass up ecclesiastically like a love letter from the second grade. Lordy, 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 Miss Claudie. All right, I like black women, bro. People don't say, I mean, not that many. And I especially like them when they quiet as a church mouse pissing on cotton. All right. But when they talking, I don't like them. All right. But that's neither here nor there. Sheesh. All right. Let's continue here. All right. This is a great video. Got them legs wrapped around. Golly. All right. She going to be pregnant right here. She pregnant. I'm definitely with child now if she does this to me. Somebody said black women be in shape for white men. Hey, man, that's what it is, bro. They going to be in shape for white men. I mean, white men, they going to act right with white men. But again, I don't mind interracial dating at all. I'm a big proponent of it. I think we all should mix our bad out. But sometimes you mix in with Neanderthal blood, but that's neither here nor there. European blood ain't the best blood. But anyway, let's continue on with this one. We're going to take a look at her social media account because people are saying that she's posting on social media or if somebody's posting on her behalf. So we're going to look here. She does have social media presence right here. Oh, her followers have gone up since the show started. Because when I started the show, she was at 77,000 followers. Look how many followers have gone up since the start of the show. So she's already gone up another 12,000 followers since the show started. That is crazy insane. I wish I didn't refresh the page. Now people are following her. I guess they're saying these pictures right here are posted after she, as you can see right here. All right, people are commenting on this one. When did this post? Oh, this is January 8th, so that's not true. But this is her social media. She definitely was a regular social media girl. She does look good here. And yeah, hair ain't nappy. I don't see no bonnet. Her weave is weaving. Her wig is wigging. She in shape. She tightly packed. She got a trim waistline, coke about her figure. All right, and she definitely done blew up a little bit. As you can see here, this is her right here. She definitely looks really young in this picture. All right, and I think this picture is older when they first started dating. I'm going to have to pull her age up because she looks like 18 or 19 right there. And he is actually slimmer and fitter too. And if you look at the picture next to it, you can see that she's a lot more shapely or maybe a BBL or she done blew up. She eating good. And he done blew up too in the next picture. So we're going to get his background too, but she definitely looks very young in the picture right here. You see that picture right there? And that looks like it was in the past because I do see it further down here. Now, let's go all the way at the bottom. Take a look at this. This picture was posted here in 2023. What do you see here? This is her post before Sugar Daddy. So she's being tricked on, aka tricked on right here, 2023, as early as 2023. Now, she probably removed some posts and archived some posts based on her portfolio before she met him. But as you can see, roses, helicopter, bubble baths, exclusive dating right here. Her wardrobe is up, makeup kicking. She's out here skiing, tricking, taking me skiing at the Aspens. All right. And you got here big doors. All right. This is before she introduced. So this is while he was tricking on her. And somebody said that he might have been married. All right. So he had a wife already. And so she can't disclose that. There she is in France. All right. And somebody's right here. You know, she's island hopping.
I've flown myself to Paris. I've done Greece. I've island hopped. I've done
there
all of that.
She is in a chartered flight. She's in right there, private chartered flight right here. There she looks in like she's on vacation. She's being well taken care of. But you don't see the man here yet. You don't see the man because this woman is on a monetized dating marketplace. All right. She's dating a married man. She's dating a sugar daddy. And there's nothing wrong with it. But this is when you guys think, oh, you know, she ain't out here in that. She ain't out here being a sugar baby. Yes, she is. Okay, there she is right there, paddleboard. She being taken care of. All right. She's being what they call spoiled and supported. And she's pretty enough to do it, right? She's very attractive. I don't know what she looks like without makeup, but she's a good looking woman and she's well taken care of, not a hair out of place. Now, right here is the first picture right here. So what we got, 2025. So as you can see, it took about 2 years for her to actually post the guy. That's the first post. A lot of people are still commenting on it currently. So the comments don't represent what were the comments beforehand. But as you can see, she looks very young, right? In this photo, she can't be more, let me see what her age is, but she can't be more than 20 in this picture right here. 21, unless that's a filter. Okay. Ashlee Jenae, age. Her age was 31. Okay. But she looks good. 31. Well, she looks young. She looks good, man. She looks very good for her age, bro. All right. But you can tell there's a lot of filter work here. I ain't hating. Now you see them together. She's still getting tricked on. They're going to Philadelphia Eagles games. There's her with a nice Burberry large scarf. There she is with this bald-headed ass. Oh, they having fun. And he is out there beating the brakes off that woman. But it seems like 2025 is when they came out. And obviously in this photo or this video collage here, he proposes to her right here in 2026. But I think they were together as early as 2023 based on what I'm looking at. Somebody say he ain't old. Well, he's balding and he's got a gray beard. I mean, y'all call me old. Y'all got a double standard. Y'all got some weird double standards, bro. I look younger than that, kind of. Okay. Y'all double standards are weird. Oh, that's tricking. Oh, coach, you taking advantage of those women. Which one is it, bro? Now you saying bald and gray ain't old. Like, what the but then call me a old. Like, what? What happened? I'm freezing up. Now, here's the deal, because things do get complicated when you have families merging, marriage. They're assuming that he did something to her because he's all the way overseas. It also was her birthday. So she was found. And that's why people are probably saying that this is him probably doing a cover up. Plus, they're looking at other evidence. They're looking to investigate it. You're dealing with the Tanzania detective agency, which might not have all the thorough tools, or they might not have the incentive to actually report and arrest the guy. He probably got money, right? You have a lot of corruption going on. I'm not saying Tanzania is corrupt, but he can make them look the other way. There's just too much going on here. If this happens in the United States, he probably could be under further investigation. They probably not keeping his passport. He probably can leave. So there's a lot. Maybe there's no extradition back to Tanzania from the United States. So there's a lot going on here. So now they're saying they don't want him to get away. They definitely don't want him to get away with self-deletion. Let me play a video that kind of tells you the entire case here. And we'll tell you about the dangers of this type of lifestyle. So you have one that wants to live the soft life, but she paid the price, right? Just like if you want to be at the JUCO, you paid the price.
This story doesn't add up, and the deeper you look, the more questions it raises. Ashlee Jenae, a 31-year-old lifestyle influencer known for promoting her soft life, had just stepped into what seemed like one of the happiest chapters of her life. A luxury birthday trip in Tanzania, a fresh engagement, and a future that looked nothing short of perfect. But within days, everything changed. According to statements shared by her fiancé, Joe McCann, Ashlee by an explanation that quickly became the official narrative. But online, that version of events is being questioned. Photos from the trip show her radiant, smiling, fully immersed in the life she had always envisioned. Friends and family say she was happy, excited, and full of plans.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, people who do take their life also has the same thing. You know, sometimes they pay all their bills. They don't let their bills falter. They might pay all their bills before they take themselves out. We don't know if she had an emotional breakdown, but also people are saying, which you can't determine, they're saying women don't normally hang themselves, which is true. Women typically don't go out like that. But of course, you're in Tanzania. You don't got much choice. You don't got weapons and knives and pills to take. I've seen people crash out. People do crash out. 1 minute they're fine, and the next minute they crash out, and they're self-delecidal. They're calling names. You know, the devil's speaking through them. You never know. All right. But also, you do have on the other side that he's in a location where he can hide the fact that she did that. But women typically ain't going to hang themselves. Robin Williams did, but they're not going to go to the chance to set up a chair and tie a slip knot type. Do the Jeffrey Epstein. Let's continue.
And that's where the doubts begin. Because for many, the timeline simply doesn't make sense. Conflicting reports have surfaced about where she was found, and questions are being raised about what happened in the hours and even days after her death. Some claims suggest there may have been a delay before authorities or her family were informed, a detail that has only fueled growing suspicion across social media. As discussions intensify, speculation continues to spread, but much of it remains unverified. What is clear is that authorities in Tanzania are now handling the case, while key details, including autopsy findings, have yet to be made public. And so what began as a celebration has turned into a story filled with uncertainty. A life that appeared full of joy is now surrounded by unanswered questions, and as tributes continue to pour in, one thing is certain: people are demanding clarity, seeking truth, and asking what really happened to Ashlee Jenae.
Let me give you an example of what could happen for her to crash out. I'm not going to assume what happened, but I probably can suspect. Let's say that he went through her phone. We just talked about this earlier, and he didn't have the stomach. Okay.
Do you have the stomach?
Like we tell you, just because a woman's dating you and you're proposing marriage doesn't mean she's not cutting off all her sugar daddies, her tricks, her boyfriends, her pookies, her ray. Let's just say he's been doing all of this support for her, and he goes through her phone. Two things can happen here, because women, when they're caught embarrassed, they can crash out. You see what I mean? So she might have been normally making plans and happy and moving forward, but if he took her phone and she realizes the jig is up, she might say, damn, I can't go back to these streets. All right. So let's take the idea that she did off herself.
In these streets.
She like, I can't lose all this. He might have said, we're done. Right. Type. So let's say, yeah, she took her life. She was happy, but she got caught playing both sides of the fence. And I'm going to tell you, man, she attractive enough to be out here catching it. And let's say this, because let's say he was married, and while she was like, well, you've been married the whole time, I'm not going to cut off all my. So then when he catches her and say, baby, all right, you going back to the Blade, you going back to the strip club, you going back to Cleveland. She like, I ain't going back to Cleveland. And then she out of here. Time to click. Okay. So that's one side of it. Or the other side, he checks her phone and he say, bit, what? All right.
Gotcha.
And then he starts making a slip knot and said, Toby not going to be free. So, you know, you're going to see the Holy Ghost. It's checkout time. All right. Pack your bags and it's time to go out. So both of those things could be a scenario where you can see both sides occurring, decisions being made irrationally, a rash decision, rush to judgment, or people feel like they're going to lose something. He might felt like he was going to lose her. She might felt like she was going to lose him. And somebody going to the upper room when Jesus Christ. So for people can say that she was fine going forward, I can see a case for her taking herself out for sure. All right. When you're going to lose all that, you're going to lose this lifestyle, because women don't have one guy like this tricking on her like this. They don't have two or three. Now they'll have a guy that they're talking to that's going to tell her that he'll trick on her like this. But nah, you ain't got but one trick like this. You only get one trick like this in your life, ladies. You only get one trick like this. And most of the time he's going to be married. All right, let me go ahead and pull this guy's name up. Let's just say she found out he was tricking on multiple women, including his wife, his ex-wife, and he had multiple. Maybe she crashed out and was like, Checkout time, the upper room. And she couldn't take it no more. Maybe she was like, I'm going to lose the guy. Maybe she checked his phone. Or maybe she checked his phone and then she tried to go ahead and wallop his head, and then he put her ass in the Cobra clutch. And then he was like, uh-oh, I got to cover up. There's a lot here, but I put up a poll. It says right here, somebody said he's broke or a con man. Oh, man. Ecclesiastically, the poll right now says 81% of people think that the husband did it. Let's pull him up. Let's do a little bit of investigation on him. All right, really quickly here to kind of determine what's going on. Because, you know, when dudes trick on women, sometimes they really ain't got the money on like that. And then she might realize it was a facade, as we call it. It was a facade. But we're going to pull up his 411 to see what he's doing here. His name is Joe McCann. I'm pretty sure the internet is pulling his file right now. And let's see what we can see here. We do have his Instagram. Oh, his Instagram is private. We don't know if that's his actual Instagram. So he has a private Instagram. So we got, who is Joe McCann? Who do you still think? Okay, y'all think he... All right, that's crazy. She's from Miami. Ashlee built a massive following. Massive? I got double, triple her following. All right. Okay, it says right here, she was celebrating her 31st birthday. So that's suspect to delete yourself on your birthday or your birthday weekend. She recently became engaged. He's the founder and CEO, niggero, of Asymmetric Financial. Yeah, that's giving scam, and it's a recognized name in crypto and finance circles. Backed by investors like Mark Andreessen and Chris Dixon, according to Art Threat. His bio, Asymmetric Financial, reads, Joe McCann is the founder, CEO, CIO, and sole managing GP, general partner of Asymmetric. He has 25 years of experience working on Wall Street and Silicon Valley. Oh, no. Okay. Previously, he was a senior director at Microsoft, and he was the head of the quantitative trading at Passport Capital, and CEO, niggero, and co-founder of Node Source, a venture-backed open source startup that existed in 2019. It doesn't exist today. It says Joe has been investing in Web3 startups and trading crypto since 2016, and is also advisor to a dozen of crypto-related startups. It ain't looking good, Joe. It ain't looking good, man. All right, people are changing their vote. People are changing their vote. It says April's 4th post shows athletes showing off the engagement ring. We got that already. Yeah, you know, people who work in those industries, shout out to y'all. Do we have people? Press 1 in the chat if you work in these industries. We do have his LinkedIn. Should I click it? Nigga gonna see me click it. But I'm sure I ain't the only one clicking it. We have his LinkedIn. By the way, if you've ever messaged me on LinkedIn, I certainly didn't get it. All right. People are like, Coach, I messaged you on LinkedIn. There's a 0% chance I got it. But this is his LinkedIn right here. Portland State, okay. Hedge fund manager. Oh, man. Creative technologist, hacker. He literally has hacker right here. Okay. See that? Hacker. He described himself as a hacker. Algorithmic trader. Yikes. So now we know why he tricking. The way he tricking heavy, and that ain't no problem, man. I don't mind it. He has a Bachelor of Science in philosophy. Yeah, bruh. And a lot of people have endorsed him as well. So what do you think here? People are calling him a scammer. I'm not saying it. I would say people who like him do scam. All right. But oh, by the way, Joe McCann appears on this podcast.
In 2025, every single narrative failed for Bitcoin. And I got caught up in that. I think a lot of fund managers got caught up in that. And a lot of just retail investors got caught up in that.
Wait, this is 2 weeks ago. He just appeared on this podcast 2 weeks ago.
You think of Bitcoin almost like a startup. It was around for roughly 15 years, and then it went public with its ETF, right? So in 2024, it was the IPO for Bitcoin. After that first year, they kind of turned into this semi-boring kind of enterprise-y business. And that was 2025 for Bitcoin. Does Bitcoin or crypto have an engagement problem? If you look at the kind of corpus of prospective investors in crypto, where are they pointing their attention? Is it at crypto, or is it at, I don't know, memory stocks out of South Korea? I think it's dead. I mentioned this all year last year, and I caught a lot of flack from people for it. And it turns out, you know, it's kind of the case. Like, I just don't think it matters anymore.
The best conditions in Bitcoin's history. the most pro-crypto administration ever. Every catalyst you could ask for. And the market still broke. And the guy who ran the #1 performing hedge fund on the planet, well, he got caught up in it too. Joe McCann built Asymmetric into the top-ranked fund globally in 2024. Not just crypto, every asset class on Earth. When the playbook broke, he didn't go quiet. He shut down his liquid fund publicly and came back with a completely different thesis. I've been sitting in the same uncertainty as a lot of you guys watching this right now.
Yeah.
New world order.
I'm not going to judge people, but, you know, people that work in that industry, Wall Street, hedge funds, they know how to move money around and make themselves look more wealthier and more successful than they are. So it could be, I'm not accusing him of this, I'm going to say allegedly, it could be that he might not have been as liquid as present. Okay. It might be not as liquid. So she might have discovered he ain't got it like that. He ain't got it like that. So she might have said, hey, and then she was like, I'm going to tell. And then boom. But by the way, he proposed to her on this trip. So that might be something that she might have discovered. And, you know, dead people tell no tales. So somebody got to go. He might have said, I'm really broke. I don't know. There's a lot to go on in here. Anyway, majority of people, 82% of people said that he did it. All right. And you can explain why in the comment section. I'm of the belief that it could be possible that she took her life. All right. But highly not probable. Nobody deserves to die. But of course, she also chose to live this life. She could have married a Pookie. She could have married somebody on her level. She could have not got involved in sugaring. She could have not been involved with a married man. I don't know if he was married, but it kind of seems like he was married and she chose that life. She wanted the soft life. So there's a lot of nuance there where you're like, you chose a soft life. So again, you made a choice to be with this guy. He didn't force you to be with that guy. Sometimes these guys are very toxic. Could be passing on their trauma to her. There's a lot of that going in there. And somebody said, we'll see what the autopsy says. That's true, because they're going to do the autopsy. However, here's the thing. The autopsy is coming from Tanzania, which they do have an extradition treaty with the United States. It existed since the 1940s or 30s. So there is an extradition treaty. So he can't get away with that. And I think it says right here, Tanzania kind of was under the control of the United Kingdom. So since they're under the control of the United Kingdom, or were at some particular point, then the extradition treaty does apply to the United States. So he can't really get away with it by going to the United States. He can get away with it until they do the cold case on his ass. So it could be years later. And by that particular point, he didn't figure out how to fake his death. All right. By that point, he'll have enough money to fake his death. All right. He'll get in an airplane, he'll crash it and parachute out. And then he'll be somewhere on the island somewhere. Are they both American? That's a good question. Is she actually American, or was it what the African American community called a tether? And this woman is exotically blessed. I'm going to say she probably has some work done, but she is blessed, and she extra hot chocolate, boy. That's some hot chocolate right there, boy. I know that's a filter. All right. But man, it look good. She looking good in the neighborhood right here. All right. She might have all three. She's Jamaican. Bumba clot. Clot. All right. Anyway, she Jamaican. That explains a lot of the sugaring too. All right. Because all Jamaican women are sugar babies to somebody. And if you think I'm lying, ask Bob Marley's mama. Shout out to our brother, Dark Side Foundation coach. I went to school and am friends with the engineer who works for him. Wait, I am friends with an engineer who works for him. Oh, the guy that's in the video? Wow. He says it's an evil world. He's also an advisor on the project I'm interested in. You never know who you're dealing with. Yo, shout out to you. Damn. Okay, the guy in the story. Okay, that's interesting. Their relationship is definitely going to change for sure. And your relationship is definitely going to change with him as well. And let's see here. King Porter says, I wouldn't be surprised if he had life insurance policy on her. All right, I'm freezing up, but that's true too. Yes, indeed.